So key thing, investors are really, really important. This is something I've observed, and this is something I see even within different regions of the US, is that we talk about angels, and in some countries call them devils, right? And we also have venture capitalists. This is actually incredibly important because let's just say e-commerce, right? E-commerce is a very, very big industry here in Turkey, but the challenge with e-commerce, just as one example, is that the more successful you are as an e-commerce company, the more money you actually need, right, to invest in infrastructure or whatever. So you need capital, not just in early stage, but also late stage. And one of the challenges in some countries, missing a lot of angels, and even the structure of early stage investments, where I think one challenge, particularly outside of Silicon Valley, where there's a lot more competition, and this is an issue also, frankly speaking, in New York, in Chicago, LA, is that when you might be able to get angel investments, but the challenge is that they'll take too much of your company. So you hear lots of stories of people giving up 60% of their company for whatever, 30, 40,000. It's just, this is a gross example, sometimes even 80%. And the challenge of that is that it's very, very hard to raise follow-on money. For me as a professional investor now, it's very hard for me to go into a company when the founders only own 30, 40% of the company or even less. Very, very hard for us to go in. It's a screwed up capital structure. So it's very, very hard for follow-on capital to actually jump in. And that is a big, big hindrance for basically growth, in my view. And I think the other part is actually follow-on funding. For example, this is a big challenge here in Turkey of funds, of very, very big funds of what we call growth capital. People can write $10 million, $15 million, $20 million checks. That is also a big challenge as well too, where once the companies get to a certain stage, you have to have the ability to basically do follow-on rounds to put more money to grow faster, and that's missing in certain parts of the world.